on, y'all? Welcome back to the chaos. I'm Ryan, and we've actually headed over to Paul's house today. We are attempting number 2. So I tried to do this myself before. I ended up with, instead of an X-pipe, I told him it looked like a K-pipe or something. So we'll throw it back to try number 1 now so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Houston, we have a problem. So it was supposed to be an X-pipe install on the C6 today, but as you can tell, this has been fondled by Hulk in transit. I have no idea what happened, but I've never seen a part this mangled before. So yeah, it's supposed to be an X-pipe. Honestly, it looks more like a K-pipe or something. Definitely a little custom. Unfortunately, that's not gonna help with making our vet louder. So we're gonna go to future Ryan with hopefully an actual X-pipe, not a K-pipe. So from that previous experience, hopefully I've avoided all the chaos. Hopefully this is gonna go smoothly. So we're on an X-pipe roll. So if you haven't already checked out that video, I'll make sure to link. We just installed a catted BBK X-pipe on his 3-valve Bullitt in last video. So now we're tackling a Corsa X-pipe for my C6 Corvette. Unlike Paul in the previous video, he was adding cats, I'm removing cats. So I think there are 4, maybe 6. We'll see when we get in the air. There's way too many cats on this car. And it's one of those like California deals. So the early C6s didn't have these 2 extra that we're eliminating today. So it's kind of unnecessary. I don't live in California, thank goodness. But I want to eliminate those, and I'm hoping to gain just a few more decibels by doing so. Don't get your expectations too high. This car, even with the MagnaFlow, is way too quiet. So I'm hoping that's the whole reason for this X-pipe, is just to tide me over until we can get long tubes and the whole shebang. But I need loud, and just a little more would, you know, whet my appetite a little bit. So, but don't get your expectations too high. It's quiet. So we're hoping for an easy install. We'll see how this goes. So first things first, first hurdle is let's try to get the car on the lift. I don't know how Paul does this, especially by himself. That was butt puckering, holy cow. So we tried to get it on forward to begin with, and the little front lip splitter kind of thing that the Grand Sports have, that was just getting snagged. Oh, hold on. So we spun it around, had to back on. Like I said, terrifying, but hopefully that's the worst of it. We got it on the lift, so now comes the fun part. Let's get it in the air and see what we're working with. Paul's gonna go ahead and hit our nuts with some PB Blaster. Giggity. While he's doing that, yeah, I was just kind of looking the car over, and so there are 4 cats. There's 2 upstream where your O2s and everything are. Those are kind of connected to the header. And then you have the downstream. Those are the 2 that we're getting rid of. So we're cutting the amount of catalytic converters in half, which will hopefully open up some decibels by a lot. That's the goal. So I'm not expecting too much, but again, any little increase in decibel is a win in my book, just because it is so quiet. I mean, you all heard it for yourselves via the cold start. So sad. That's usually when you get your loudest performance, or you know, that cold start really wakes the car up, wakes the neighbors, and my neighbors are sleeping sound because you can't hear this thing. It's a step above a Prius, so we got to fix that. These are our 2 cats we're saying sayonara to, so hopefully that'll pick up some volume for us. But I do still have remaining cats up here on your header. Now let's get down to business. Hopefully everything, this car did come from Ohio. I can't remember where the car originated from, because I think I'm like the 4th owner, maybe something like that, but Paul and I picked it up from Ohio. But looking underneath, pretty rust free, so I'm hoping these bolts will be busted loose pretty easily, but let's find out. was like wrestling a bear. So not only were the kind of bolts kind of a little bit seized, so the impact couldn't even touch them. So I had to take a prior bar to that, but we got everything loose. And then it was the driver's side rear that just did not want to let go. So everything was loose. It was just a matter of like tugging and pulling and wiggling and waggling, but we did it. So Paul ate his Wheaties this morning, so that put us over the finish line to get it out. So now should be reverse process to get the new Corsa X-pipe on the car. 2 less cats though. Install time. So we've kind of game planned it. We're gonna shove the rear on first and then work our way forward, but hopefully it'll go on smoother than it came off. Well, I'm all too familiar with the chaos and it strikes again. Unfortunately, this X-pipe just, it's not gonna work. So looking at the bends, and I'll show you here in a second, but we've got the OEM catted X-pipe laid out on the floor next to our Corsa, and there's just a completely different bend in one of the ends. So we were fighting it, and I mean, I don't see it working. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to throw up the white flag, surrender today, and potentially get it to an exhaust shop. Like, I hate to do that, especially because, like, one, I enjoy doing this kind of stuff, but then 2, do I have them just straighten it and then hope they got the bend right, or just go ahead and have them finish it off? I don't know. So I've got some decisions to make, but let me show you the chaos we're working with. I feel like it should be very apparent, but so you have our left pipes. Compare those, they look pretty similar. They kind of have like this little cockeye to the left, but then notice our right side here. This one has like a complete straight line to it, and this one has a kink. Well, that kink, sometimes great in the bedroom, but not here in the garage today. That is throwing us off big time. So that's why we're having to call this one quits. We just cannot get that to work. So we ideally need this piece straightened, which we could attempt to do beating and banging on it, but I don't want to ruin the part. All right, Paul thinks I'm nuts, and I might be, but I've been standing here racking my brain, and I'm just thinking, ultimately, I can't make the situation worse, right? Famous last words, but I'm thinking there's the exhaust hanger like bracket in the middle, and it's just a brace that goes between the 2 pipes. My thought is just, let's just whop that in half. That should give us some leverage to spread the ends of this pipe out to potentially gain enough clearance to get it to slide on. And then the exhaust hanger itself, those are on springs that will sway back and forth. So in order to get that brace back, that can be tack welded later. And at least I can have the X-pipe on for today. So you're about to either see something go really right or really wrong. And to give you a visual of what I'm thinking is, this is the bracing, like the exhaust hanger bracing that I'm talking about. If we just yeet that down the middle, then we should have enough levers to yank on the 2 end pipes and spread them a little bit to hopefully get it to slide on like it should. Last chance to back out. Nope, full send. I said it was either gonna go really good or really bad, and it kind of went neutral. Like, I thought we were gonna get a little more clearance than that, but I mean, like, at full tilt, Paul's only able to separate it 4 or 5 millimeters maybe, and it wants to clamp right back in place. So I was really hoping we'd be able to tug a little more, and we can, but there ain't no way even doing that. There's just no way. So this is truly right at a standstill. So Paul's demonstrating, like, you can see, yeah, because that you can spread it just a little bit, but I mean, it goes right back into shape. So there's just not enough give to it. Unfortunately, bad news. I mean, we tried this, that, and the other, and it's just, we couldn't come up with a solution. So, like I said, we just had to throw up the white surrender flag and call it quits. We reinstalled the OEM pipe. So, no change in sound. Honestly, at this point, there might be even a leak. Who knows? Because, hopefully not. But it's gonna have to go, unfortunately, to an exhaust shop. So, I'm gonna do some thinking, some soul searching, decide if it's even worth just having them try to straighten it or just make that their problem. But lesson today is you don't catch a W every single time. So life, what fun would that be if life just, you know, was a cakewalk? That's just not how it works. Chaos always, remember that. But it's not, don't let it keep you down. We're going to adapt and overcome.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Update. I'm actually going to interrupt that kind of sad, defeated sounding Ryan from the past. I did some soul searching and just trying to figure out what would be the best approach for getting the X-pipe on the car. And what I decided was ultimately it's probably just better and cheaper to, instead of having them like potentially try to straighten that piece and then me getting it back in my hands, attempting to reinstall, if for whatever reason it still isn't lined up, then having to take it back and playing that game, I just ultimately decided that we'll put it in the professional's hands. So thanks to a local exhaust shop around here, Henry's Muffler Shop. They've been in business forever, ever since I was little. So they did a great job. They were able to tackle and get us to the finish line. Here's the X-pipe all fitted up. So you'll notice they actually cut twice on each side. Cut there, and then back towards the transmission. There's another weld here as well. So X-pipe fits, got nice clearance. I just hate Paul and I weren't able to complete this one, but at least it's in there now and fits nicely. The sound level, it's a little louder, and I got like on downshifts that have a little more like gurgles and pops, which is nice, but still not even close to loud enough for my liking. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but I would say if our sound level was like a 3 out of 10 before, we bumped it up to maybe a 4. So I was really hoping it would kind of bump it up to maybe a 5, hopefully a 6, but yeah, it's just a little teeny tiny bit louder. But let's throw in some sound clips so y'all can hear the difference. I'm still chasing that loud factor, so stay tuned for next video. I've got a little sneak peek here for you. We've got a care package from SLP that should liven things up, but I just want the car to scream, and I think this will do it. But I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm glad we were able to, even if it wasn't under Paul and I's power, to get the X-pipe on there, but at least we got the project to the finish line. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch y'all in the next one.